Glorious day to you, my friends. Happy Solstice. And today I invite you to join me in creating a world grid. Chihakana araharskohaya chichiro. Sohukanananira atahare taranananira toko. So a little background. For 3 days, almost exactly 3 days from the start of this recording, I was in a crystal store and I saw this Mongolian black laser quartz wand. And it wanted to come play. You know, it's absolutely amazing. It's all these record keepers. And as soon as I picked it up, I got shamanic and deep ancient earth magic energy. And I knew I had to have it. I just didn't know what was going to happen. And then next, I'll try to keep this brief. This agate from Kazakhstan came through and says, I want to come play, and we're gonna make a world grid. So take a look at this thing. Take a look at this guy behind the light and how it all lights up. That's a vortex and a portal. And Kazakhstan, during the last ice age, was one of the places that we humans huddled and actually had the opportunity for food and life. So the world grid started happening. And other stones that I picked up, it started started growing and growing. And I thought that this grid was going to contain 12 crystals. I didn't know how many. Spirit was in charge. But to me, 12 creates a dodecahedron. Well, when she's ready. Okay. We can focus. Can we? Can we? Yes, we can. There we go. That 12 creates a really great, it's one of the platonic solids, a dodecahedron. And all of my grids, from as soon as I learned how to make a grid, I switched from 6 to 12. But Spirit was in charge of how many crystals were going to happen, and it ended up being 24. And I'm going, that's 2 times 12, so we got 2 dodecahedrons slightly shifted. Okay, we'll see how that works. But it's all ended up being based on the tetrahedron, or the triangle. And again, it's been 3 days. 3 days since, can I point? Yes, I can point. 1, 2, this is hard. 3. A triangle, when put in 3 dimensions, happens to be a tetrahedron. And a triangle is a symbol for fire, and fire is divisible effects of matter changing form. Tikatakari naraska shio kotokoro. And Plato said the tetrahedron was associated with fire, and Kepler said the tetrahedron was associated with earth. His Mysterium Capernum, something like that. You can look that up. So the tetrahedron has to do with earth. Excellent. It also happens to be, the fire and the water create Metatron, the Star of David, or the Merkaba, or the Merkaba of the Sacred Marriage, with the fire and the water. So everything's based on the triangle here and the tetrahedron, and we'll find out. So the 24 faced polyhedron in the 3D is a dual to the 24 vertex polyhedron. And this one happens to be called the pentagonal icosatetrahedral. That's a mouthful to say. Anyway, we're using this one because you can inscribe a cube, an octahedron, and not only a tetrahedron, but the Merkaba, a three-dimensional Merkaba inside. You can also inscribe a dodecahedron because it's two dodecahedrons, and it only points to half the faces. So this relates to the 3D, pyramids in the 3D, and both of these relate to the human body and the third dimension. And this relates to our light body and the aspects of our divine masculine and divine feminine. One of the stellations of the pentagonal icosatetrahedron, and I just include this because this looks really, really amazing. And when we start to activate the grid, it's going to feel and look like this on Gaia. And these 24 vertexes, these 24 crystals, as they reach into the fourth and higher dimensions, they create a 24 cell energetically. This is a tetrahedron in the higher dimensions. And this is simply a trace of the stationary vertexes as the energy flows between each of the crystals. Once we activate the grid, this is what it looks like in the third dimension and from us in the third dimension. This is a 3D representation of the energetic patterns in the higher dimensions. This is a fully rotating 24 cell. I can just sit here and meditate on this. Shihia tatakanaha skochio rotaria. Shikana atakata tananariaro. Shahuyo tukushikuya niara tatinana. And I've been pretty much channeling for 3 days on all the different aspects of this and all the crystals and why these particular crystals. Spirit picked every single one of the crystals. And I was amazed at the information I was channeling about the crystals and why they wanted to be included in this grid and how it all came together. And I couldn't have planned it this way. So now onto the grid. So I created a Google Maps and I placed the pins which relate to the crystals, and there's a link in the description box below. Can I do it? Down below to the Google map where you can click on the pins and you can read about all the details of each of the places and the crystals. Today, Spirit had me separate them and color code them and sort them into chakras. And it was amazing that I'm going, okay, well, so we got 7 chakras. 7 times 3 is 21. What are the extra 3 crystals for then? And it ended up being for the higher heart chakra. There's one extra pin that's dropped. And that is here in Silesia on the Polish-Czech border where Praseolite was first found. And Praseolite is the natural form of green amethyst. And the master crystal that we're going to use to activate a Lemurian, of course, is going to end up pointing. Let's see, we're going to put it here. Yeah, we won't be able to see it, but that's the best part about the master crystals that connects them. They're supposed to be connective and not a part of the grid, which is the amazing part. And yeah, and we're going to go straight up and down because winter solstice is midnight on the clock of the year, and it's due north. So now for the starting of the blessings. So I invite you to join me as we invite in the holy fire to flow in, through, and around us all in every way and everywhere and every when, as we set aside our ego and our personal energy so that we may be a clear channel while creating this grid for the collective consciousness, for Gaia, for the Ascension. Saha agito anaharu tukurshivaya tutursu niyano tutur shivaya tutu. And we call upon the four directions. We call upon the north, the winds of the north. And the watcher of the north, Archangel Gabriel. Can I slide it over there? And a crystalline representation of Archangel Gabriel. We'll use a clear quartz. We might not be able to see it. And we call on the east and the winds of the east, the new now, the new dawn, and the watcher of the east, Archangel Michael. And for Archangel Michael, blue tourmaline that we've used in other videos for Archangel Michael. And we call on the south and the winds of the south. The spirit of the south. And Archangel Raphael, the watcher of the south. Shukuturu suhunananata arihekicha arietokonanoro tuku shuku urutuku. And I wish I could remember the name of this. And because it's green, look, I've got the green screen going on, so good to hear it. We can see the map underneath it. That's funny. That is so funny. It's in a Diwali video. shikanananiera to chrome tri sakananiera to. This is exactly what happened today. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong and delay, and that's why this card is flickering. Besides that, Raphael is brilliant. There's green in the card, and I'm using a green screen. And we call upon the West and the winds of the West, the divine flow, and the watcher of the West, Archangel Uriel. Now, I don't want to interfere with Hawaii over here, so we're going to go just a little south on that. And we're going to use topaz, raw natural topaz. Shikahana etitakuro tatiri. Kashananiera tuku urskana rasahasahi kutukachioyarto. And the planets that are also the watchers of the four directions are the four royal stars, which marked the solstice and the equinoxes during the age of Taurus. And Fomalhaut, along with Archangel Gabriel, are the watchers of the north. And Fomalhaut is in the big fish, at the foot of Aquarius, whose job is to drink all the water that Aquarius puts out, so that the earth does not flood again. And along with Archangel Michael, the watcher, thank you for focus, the watcher of the east, the fiery eye of Taurus, where the east is the earth, grounding and attractive, where we ground the law of attraction. And the watcher of the south, along with Archangel Raphael, is Regulus, the heart of Leo, and it marked the summer solstice during the age of Taurus. And Aldebaran marked the spring equinox in the age of Taurus. And the watcher of the west, along with Archangel Uriel, is Antares, the heart of Scorpio, which marked the fall equinox during the age of Taurus. And we ask for the divine blessings and the support of the archangels while creating this grid. Now using the Lemurian master, Urskana hashi iskanaradia. Ishuko utakara wata ariskanana itaka arietutuno urutukuskana nawatishka. Ishuko uruhututananawa iriara artakananira. Uya hasa ananirata. Now onto the grid. Neokuchiki warato uruhusanano utakuhusana. Shishishio kutukuratsananiro toto. And down in the root chakra, the first that wants to be placed, Mount Shasta Opal, Mount Shasta is the root chakra of Gaia. We should place this as I try to do this. We'll put it right next to it so we can see it. Some tidbits about opal. The chromatic optical effect of opal happens because of movement in the presence of the white light. And this white light, this divine light, is what we're talking about. We're talking about grounding. We're talking about being our true authentic self. We're talking about acknowledging our truth and being our truth for us and for the collective consciousness. And the next that wants to be placed is the agate from Kazakhstan. And notice how it looks like it's dark on the inside and brilliant white, reflective white on the outside, but when we illuminate it from the inside, just like when we illuminate ourselves from the heart center, you shine and illuminate and glow for all to see. I'm so glad we have focus issues. And the last one for the root chakra is noble shungite. The interesting tidbit about this is, besides that it's great for water purification, this, because of its carbon content, is very grounding, and because we are carbon-based life forms, it connects us and connects Mother Earth, which aids in the grounding. This is a 2 billion year old stone. This thing formed before Lemuria. And this is an extraordinarily positive stone. And you can use it in any of your blessings. When it was first found, Peter the Great set up Russia's first spa in the location where it was found, in Shunga. And he used it to provide purified water to the Russian army. And today, science has proven the antibacterial properties of shungite. Let me try to place it. Oh, I love it when it's in focus. Now, using the Master Crystal, Neokotakata Anahaskota Tia. Yaya Atiska Ayatoto Husa Anana Atakati Tietoko. Yaya Toturu Huskana Ariskana Ayertoko. And the best part about a triangle is that every vertex connects to every other vertex and leaves the space open in between. Neokata Atana Nirosko. And as we move up from Muladhara, the root chakra, to the sacral chakra, Shihisa Ayakanata Iranohorohusuko Shihiasukonanato. The Tektites wanted to play here. And my favorite Tektite, Moldavite, Moldavite is a unique combination of meteorite and earthly energies. Notice how it shines the light and allows the light through. Interestingly enough, Moldavite is an extremely grounding stone. Make friends with your Moldavite, and it won't be so strong. Many people are very afraid. They say it's too strong. And as we place the shungite, or the shungite, the Moldavite, and again, it's green, so it's going to come in and out. The next sacral chakra, Sohusha Awartnir Tuko, Libyan desert glass. This is a great energetic partner to Moldavite. 26 million years ago, a meteorite did an airburst above the Libyan desert. Intermixing space dust, superheated space dust with superheated sand, and look how clear that is. Libyan desert glass has been coveted for thousands and thousands of years. It's there even though we can't see it. And Tutankhamun was buried with a scarab carved out of Libyan desert glass. And the last one is a chunk of the meteorite, Campo del Cielo, Campo del Cielo, field of the sky, the field of heaven, because it littered this after impact all over this field in Argentina. This meteorite formed when our solar system was forming, and it contains the original intention of our solar system as well as the original intention for planet Earth, for Gaia. Just like everything is energy, and everything has an attraction point. When you incarnated, you chose your parents based on incarnation point. It's the same thing for the physical after the Big Bang. Things, scientists today in the 3D call it gravity. Gravity is simply the third dimensional representation of the law of attraction, but it is only limited to the third dimension. It reaches into the fourth dimension, but that's not the point of this. Campo del cielo, Shashanana atatutata. Yeah, there's the field right there. Now, using the Lemurian seed, the Lemurian Neodotakar, not necessarily a seed. Neokatakira Urosakanania. Hishaka Atara Anahaskatira Ayatahartatarishko Ita Anahaska Arititi Rotokushko Urusahawatito Ushahananiri Yayatanana. Svarstana Neokataharishka Nanhiso to Urshakahawati Tiro to Kuru to Kurushkayuetata. For nurturing, for desire, Neotitira Natokurshkavata. For inspiration, Neotitira Nahata Arskanani to Kotokurushkoto. And as we moved up to the sacral chakra, Manipura, Neokatakatira Skananihisokototi. Magical stones of the here and now. Manipura is about willpower. Our sense of self. But interestingly, these stones want to, the Mongolian black laser quartz, how it plays with will. The original shamans intermix the will and the magic of the planet. Most shamans are known for dealing with both Gaia, Pachamama, and shadow work. In the darkness of this, our shadow self is part of our complete self. It is not something to shun. It is something to accept and to integrate, so that we can be complete. And this one wants to point that way. Because the shamans were all around Lake Baikal, and in Mongolia, where they learned of the wisdom of the planet. From those who came before and from our extraterrestrial friends, and by the spirit of Gaia. And they teach of the cooperation of our individual will, our te, our chi, our ki, our prana, and the divine will, and the will of the collective consciousness, and the will of Gaia. The next, Mukaite, Muka Jasper, that comes from the Muka Creek in Western Australia. And the term Muka, according to the Aboriginals, means running water. So this is the fire chakra, but what does a water stone have to do with the fire chakra? Well, interestingly, this stone started out as igneous rock, volcanic rock, from an ancient volcano that landed up in the Muka River, was broken apart by the running water, and then compressed. It became sediment and became compressed into sedimentary rock, which is this Mukaite, this Muka Jasper. This is so soothing and grounding and slowing. Be patient with this stone because it's trying to teach you patience. Sahanani tokorata. Shahananiro sahawatitirotka. Shanahasa iriaratukunananadya. And when we're in this stone of the here and now, encourages us to be present. And by being present, we create less time, thus slowing time, slowing aging, and it nurtures, again, another water principle. It nurtures both the gestation of mothers, so this and the newborns inside, assisting with releasing ancestral DNA patterns, but again, why does this water stone want to be in the fire chakra? Maybe we can meditate upon that. We'll put it at the base of the pen. There we go. And the last, Priscilli Bluestone. Priscilli Bluestone is the stone that the monoliths at Stonehenge are made from. These very ancient stones contain the original earth magic that Merlin Spectros used the sonic abilities of this stone, as well as the original earth magic, to levitate them and to move them the 200 miles. And again, this is an earth stone and a Vishuddha stone, a sound chakra stone, a throat chakra stone as well. What does it have to do with willpower in a fire chakra? This is a metamorphic rock. This has to do with change. And fire is all about change. Being human has to do with change. Number 5 is the human number. And 5 is all about change. And how did Merlin bring about the magic to bring about the change? Using his will and the will of the stones. See, he didn't just sit there and stomp his feet and he says, I want these stones 200 miles away at Stonehenge. He didn't say that. He used his will and the will of the stones and the will of Gaia, and his knowledge to ask them to levitate, to cause them to levitate, to inspire them to levitate. And again, with the Lemurian, master, Shukunananiaratoko, Ayatahitskanana Atahoa, Arita Takaskono Uchkawari Tikananari Artakarska, Hirota Araskahani, Aritukono Urutuku. To unlock our fire within, our passion within, our desire to co-create change. with our will and the divine will. And as we move up to Anahata, we go to the heart chakra. That is Hawaii. I do not resonate with other websites that point to either Glastonbury. Glastonbury is a glorious place. But my experience there is it's more connected with Avalon and Camelot and the magic of Merlin. In the original earth magic and the spirituality regarding that. But the heart of Gaia, in Hawaii, in a stone, green amethyst, Praseolite. But this happens to be heat-treated amethyst. Most of the citrine that you get is amethyst that's heat-treated. And part of the heat treating process, some of it gets dark brown, some of it gets golden, some of it gets yellow. And every once in a while, some of it turns green. The original Praseolite was first found in Silesia, Lower Silesia, in the mountains. And on the map, I can't pronounce the mountain range, but there's information in the map. And there's other, these are very, very ancient and spiritual mountains. This is actually the oldest mountain range in Europe. And the oldest mountain range that's still in existence is the Appalachians. So, Praseolite or green amethyst, I prefer calling it green amethyst because it is heat-treated amethyst, because it's green, because of Anahata. But this brings on the principles of all, the properties of all quartz, and the properties of green, with our connecting to the heart chakra, Anahata. And we're going to point inwards. And the next is Botswana agate. Agate from Botswana. Why Botswana? Well, let's look at the agate first. Besides all the principles of agate, and look at this piece. Look how, let me see, how can I, there we go. It's hard to see with the cell phone. Nice little burst there. Experiment gone wrong. Botswana happens to be the exact opposite side of the globe of Hawaii. Just about that point in Botswana. It's called the antipode. And if you were to drill a hole from Mount Kilauea straight through the center of Gaia, you come out in Botswana. This is the back of the heart chakra, the temple of the soul. This is the input of energy of the toroidal energy field of the heart chakra. And when somebody is sitting down and giving Reiki, or when I'm giving Reiki to somebody who's sitting down, I put my left hand on the front because the left hand is the receiving hand, and the right hand on the back of the heart chakra, because this is the output and that's their input. To help clear out all the energies, to help the toroidal field of Anahata, and rose quartz for the higher heart chakra, because it's quartz. Unconditional love, compassion. And Archangel Hamiel is associated with the unconditional love, and we're up here in the green. That piece is from the Black Hills, that I picked up off the ground on one of my hikes. And according to Kabbalah, there are 3 archangels associated with the 3 Sephirot that have to do with the heart center. We have my guy, Archangel Zadkiel, the righteousness of God, transmutes negativity. It's about compassion, mercy, loving kindness. Resides or oversees the Sephirot Chesed, which means loving kindness. Handling the divine feminine aspects of the heart center. Archangel Chamuel, overseeing the Sephirot Gechuda, the strength of God. But she's known for her unconditional love. And then Archangel Yophiel, the beauty of God. She's associated with Manipura and joy and Citrine. But she guards over Tifrat, that translates to eminence, presence, eternity. I like presence though, because as we flow in the Kabbalah through number 4, loving kindness over to strength. The heart is anchored in presence, in joy, bringing we anchor the loving kindness and the strength of that loving kindness in the presence of joy. And with the Lemurian, the master, Ayahananani oroko sana itu kuhushikawaya tata yaya tananana hisko nanata aresahayeta dokorosoa. And as we move up to the higher heart chakra, Nyakunani Herskananatiti. This section's about the sacred marriage, the Merkaba of the sacred marriage, Nyakatakira Nahatatita Takata. And for that, we shall use one of my favorite stones, Amethyst, Nyakatakira Sanananiara Tata, which I use to create the Merkaba of the sacred marriage. It's a part of the grid inside my my water filter. And I can talk all day about amethyst. In the second piece, natural citrine. You feel the power of the natural citrine. This natural citrine's from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I could have placed it anywhere because citrine is from everywhere, but look at this. Look at this line. This north-south line here that these pins are creating lines up pretty well with where we're going to place chalcedony and Moldavite, Praseolite for Celestia, and noble shungite from Shunga. It's a pretty nice line, a powerful line. Citrine, besides being associated with Yophiel, it's Latinized or Americanized Jophiel, but one of my grounding stones. It's also a fire stone, a stone of joy, a stone of inspiration. But this is also the stone in which I create the upward pointing triangle for the Merkaba of the sacred marriage. And the winner chicken dinner, this was also one of the pieces that wanted to play Astrophyllite, the star light matrix. This is also a part of Pneumite, which we're going to place over here. And some of the magic. I knew nothing about this stone before I bought it. And but when I started doing research and started channeling the information, my mind was blown. The light matrix inside this connects to our divine blueprint and our life purpose. This is the magnet of the law of attraction, and the catalyst for our transformation. That's why it's the center of the heart. This is also the sacred marriage stone. So I understand why it wanted to be a part of this Merkaba of the sacred marriage. This is you. This is your light matrix. This is the back of the heart chakra, the temple of your soul. And it influences our entire body, mind, and spirit with the true divine light, thus illuminating our true authentic selves. Just talking about the stone, I want to cry. And although it's found several places. This is an extremely rare stone. This one came from Pikes Peak in Colorado. And and it makes a nice little triangle here. And it's kind of near Grand Teton, which is a major hub of several ley lines. And one of my videos is about activating and upgrading the grid and doing grid work while at the base of Grand Teton. Well, the left hand wants to do this one. Interesting. Oh, okay, we're doing. Atahaski itukota, atahashi so anahitikua hiata, natakashka isakatiara ta anahuai, yayatananiara tata. As we invite in the compassion and the righteousness of God, the loving kindness, the mercy, and the strength of God into balance, into eternity, the eternity of ourselves, to our true authentic self. If we know ourselves and we know the universe, we need not fear any interaction or any change. And the rest is simply eternity. With the presence. And as we move up to Vishuddha, the sound chakra, the throat chakra, we're dealing with the fire and the water. That's what they wanted to call this thing. So we're going to start out with fire agate. In fire agate, besides being an agate, it's been used for thousands and thousands of years, and it was used by the Aztec as a sacred stone, as a spiritual stone, as a stone of inspiration and change. It has all the properties of agate. Plus our willpower, the catalyst for change. And it helps us speak our truth. Clearing through the heart chakra to make those sounds of what we wish to create. Fulfilling our true authentic self. We have to think it. We have to vocalize it to the universe. And then we simply need to receive. And the next one is one of my favorite grounding stones that my great-great-grandmother told me about while I was in a crystal store. I'm in the back playing with hand-hammered Tibetan singing bowls, just one in particular, and I was playing it, and nothing, it was playing, but I wasn't getting a reaction out of anybody, and it wasn't making my heart sing or anything. So then my great-grandmother says, there's a brown stone in the front of the store. I want you to go get one. So I go to the shop owner and I'm going, so my great-great-grandmother just asked me to go get a brown stone in the corner, And then she went to the brownstone section and pointed them out to me. And instantaneously, I grabbed for the aragonite. And then I placed this stone in the center of the singing bowl. And then when I started to play it, everybody in the crystal store stopped and paid attention. All of my chakras lit up and started vibrating. Yeah, I bought that piece. And aragonite has been with me ever since. It's named after Rio Aragon in the Aragon region of Spain. Interestingly, aragonite contains the minerals that are used in pearls, the shells of mollusks, coral, and is essential for the building of coral reefs. A water stone. But how does it help us speak our truth? There are so many things about this. It was formed from hot springs. And it encourages us. It connects root to crown, which is why all my chakras started vibrating. Encourage us to take responsibility for ourselves and to speak our truth. Shanato. Pseudo-hexagonal twinnings. So, nitsa atira anantakitkirat anatokurata comes out in a star pattern as we radiate our will, our desires, and as we speak them to the universe to reinforce our thought patterns. And the next one, Auralite 23, a recent discovery made of amethyst and up to 23 others found in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So each piece is unique and takes on the properties of the elements contained therein. Super manifestation stone. And I made a video about that super manifestation grid using Auralite 23. And all these components, besides this, links up all the chakras. It aids us to speak our truth. And it works easily with aragonite, and the fire agate, with the fire and the water, and unifying. And that Merkaba is the fire and the water. The age of Aquarius is about the fire and the water. And where the fire does not put out the water, and the water does not, and the fire does not put out the water, is where the fire and the water cooperate together. Can I reach all the way up to Thunder Bay? There we go. And the Lemurian master, Neokoshahar Anani Takutata Disa Kashanani Hisota Yayata Nana Katihiaska Anahasaka Hayeto Urtukashkawati Aranadhesika Husha Ayatatati Nanahataka Shakawa Ayatakushka Wahituko. It's about time to give a little gratitude as we give thanks to God and to the Holy Fire and the archangels that are helping us and the rest of Spirit that is influencing this grid. And as we move up to Anya, Ajna, my people call it Anya. The third eye. Chalcedony, named for the region in Turkey. Agate is a Chalcedony. Chalcedony is the overarching family. But this blue helps us speak our truth, but it also helps us with the insight. This is the new now section. Our intuition is all about being present. Our intuition is about being here and now and creating that new now based on the influence. Chalcedony is a stone of harmony. Thank you, Yofiel. Community and goodwill. Chalcedony embodies the principles of the age of Aquarius. I like the word community instead of brotherhood, but it vibrates harmony. It's the energy of convergence instead of divergence. It's been a sacred stone all over the world, and indigenous Americans used it daily to promote stability, enhance connections with the spirit world. It's imbued with the original intention of planet Earth in the spiritual evolution of consciousness, journeying into the 3D and beyond. The hero's journey, or the fool's journey of the tarot, is totally embodied in the wisdom of each of the cards, and your journey and your true authentic self is inside Chalcedony. This simple stone is so powerful and spiritual. May it guide us all. These other stones that are part of this new now. Pneumite. When I first started working with Pneumite, it is the most ancient stone on the planet. The magma formed and then cooled and then got heated again. And Pneumite, formed over 2.8 billion years ago. It's a unique mix of Gedrite and Astrophyllite. Astrophyllite is the light matrix at the heart center, which is the temple of the soul. We're using it in the higher heart chakra. Gedrite promotes the principles of the age of Aquarius, that we are the masters, we are the teachers, and we are the students. We are the earth, the sun, the stars. We are all that is. Pneumite was formed by two consecutive metamorphic overprints. As we developed our intention, as the beings in the higher realms developed their intentions for the lower dimensions and the lower realms, as it was forming and it was being guided, those overprints are imbued in Pneumite. This contains their edits. Those overprints are the edits. I have a better idea. That's what evolution is all about, is a better idea. Or DNA evolution is a better idea. This new now, tomorrow, what we're manifesting is the better idea most of the time. And it's named after this place in Greenland where it was first found. Nuuk, Nuuk, Nuuk. Na ahi acha uchi na awa iko no unoku. Kachui no uchu ni so ukuchni. Na wa awa shi oyochukuhushiwa. Gratitude for that. One of my most emotional stones, lapis lazuli neokutukurasa, the stone of truth, the stone of the goddess Inanna, Ostara, Ishtar, the East Gate, keepers of the dawn, Niroskanananiata, of the new now. Each new day is a new now. Each breath we take is a new now. Each thought we have is a new now. We are creating everything. Everything that we see and everything that we perceive is being recreated in every moment, in every new now. It's a stone of truth, enlightenment, the truth of your true authentic self, of you enlightening your burden, of you enlightening the dis-ease, the resistance, as you align with your truth, as you align with your source, as you align with your true authentic self, to be all that you can be. And again, with the Lemurian master, Nihukachasa Asahati Takati Shushu Uno Hurasa Urkahwane Chikata Titiriana Hatu Saba Kananata Ariada Karaha Sunono Shishishwio Totananira Tatutia Tata. Anya is the light chakra, and each of these stones helps us imbue ourselves with the true divine light. Yaya tutusko nana arawachikari titita anaha iria nariara skotuhu yakashahni ananiana nato suhana wahia daya shahayato ushawanana hakuhashia. And as we give gratitude to God and to the Holy Fire, and all of our ancestors, and all of the thoughts and all of the vibrations that have come before, and as we move on to, it's so hard to say. Srara Shikiso Onahata Akachiha Iha Tohota Kashi Ayatohursa Watati Takata Nada Tatatina Nana Tukusha Hawati da Nita Atahat Shikano, the crown chakra Niakachiera Ariar Nohotokutokutska Watatitiria Nathasa Atekuta Nariyar tukunani yaratata Saha Srara Shihiyasonana yaratata. Today in Sanskrit it means the 1,000-petaled flower, Nyokatakata, represented by the open lotus, Nyotiti yaratata. But the Sa is the in-breath and the Ha is the out-breath. Nirarataha Sra Ra Srara, srara nietokochara watatitira tata niatakana. We're just going to stop. And so we have 3 totally awesome stones. We're going to end up with that one. Atlantean Quartz from Arkansas. Look at this guy. Look at all the wisdom contained within. Look how clear it is. Look at the record keepers. I'm not even going to say a thing. Imbued with the wisdom of Atlantis. Priests and priestess in Atlantis were programming them to pass on the knowledge. And you can pick them right up off the ground in Arkansas, Mount Ida. Tibetan quartz. And again, it's a clear quartz, programmable, and these have been programmed in Tibet by the spirits, by the ancient ones, by the ancestors, by the wise ones, high priests and priestesses in Shambhala. As Tibet is the outgoing spiritual hub of the planet, it's being transferred over to Lake Titicaca. The energies are almost complete. Let me try to... There we go. We place it. And again, we won't be able to see these clear crystals. And then from my backyard, Herkimer diamond. It's not a diamond. They call it a diamond because it's a double terminated super clear quartz. Can I get it up there? And what's interesting about this is each point has 6 facets. That's 12. And the side, the barrel, has 6 facets. 6 times 3, 18. And just like clear quartz, easily programmable, but all 3 of these clear quartz come programmed when they intended to be created. They had their own original intention of wisdom, besides the Atlantean wisdom added, the Tibetan wisdom added, the Shambhala wisdom added, and the wisdom. So we're going to talk about Herkimer in this point. This segment here, Herkimer, so near Rochester, so near Canandaigua, so near Nundaweo. Many ley lines intersect here. It's not a major conjunction point. It's not a minor one either. I chose to incarnate in that location because of the intersecting of the ley lines, because of the Palladians who came through Nundaweo, because of the wisdom they chose to share, to be keepers of the earth, stewards of the earth, and to pass on the Palladian wisdom, to pass on the wisdom of Gaia, and to nurture Gaia and take care of Gaia. And again, the Lemurian master. Ichkota nanani iskotita. Yaya hatatita katskana atakuta. Yaya tatisko hashia ti nawata achkuhayata. Yitiar nananira rawachi ortkananira toto. To connect the crown, to connect to all that is. Niachi hashikaisuna. Ayatukuchikiwa ti niar tukusanani tuku. Shaya sahananani tukuchika. Yita niaratata. And again, giving thanks to God and to the Holy Fire, through all things are possible. Shukran Allah, shikiniyarata, alhamdulillah, niyatahishkahiso anawashia, yaka atani, shaya titiyanayarata, tita kaskananyara. Hallelujah, niyakuchikatananiyarata. Now to connect all of the chakras and all of the stones, I ask you to join me in sending your energy, your intentions, and you, as we invite and allow the Holy Fire to flow in, through, and around this grid. Imbuing them with angelic symbols, earthly symbols, symbols of magic, symbols and indications of white magic. As the ripple effects from these blessings permeate this now, permeate the core of Gaia, permeate the collective consciousness, respecting their free will and everyone's individual's free will, offering vibrations of harmony, unity, cooperation, convergence, honor, respect, inspiration, attraction, rebirth, as we enter this season of winter, and we have our 3 dreams, where we look at what we have manifested, what we want to manifest, the possibilities of manifestation, and then set forth our intentions for manifestation, so that when we get to the new now, the new dawn, at the spring equinox, we plant seeds and we nurture them, and we look at our crop, and still nurture them until it's time to harvest, and then prepare the fields to be fallow again, and rest during winter. This cycle of life, this cycle of breath, this wheel of Dharma, and interestingly, this Moldavite has been in my Kabbalah grid in the position of Da'at, that mystical location where some people call it knowledge. It's a place of the human, but it's where all of the Sephiroth are united in this mystical state of meditation, where this knowledge becomes a reality from the wisdom and the understanding from the crown, from Kiter, through that mystical state of Da'at, through the heart center, down into The lower chakras, the lower Sephiroth, through the foundation to the kingdom. As we ground everything, all of the thoughts, into the earth, that is where we reap the benefits of us being the righteous rulers of our reality. Nihosha ayawaka titiaratata. Katsananira tatatuta katati. Nanta atakashka hisa. Yaya tatatira nanahata tukura suku. As it's in alignment with Archangel Gabriel, with the clear quartz, the Lemurian, into Celestia, into the Moldavite, down this main line. Okay, I can move it over a little bit, even though it's not the center of the screen. And we ask God in the Holy Fire for the blessings to seal these blessings, to fulfill these blessings. For the world, for Gaia, for the collective consciousness, and for each of the individuals in this collective consciousness. With honor and respect. Namaste. Giving gratitude to God and to the Holy Fire. Through all things are possible. Thank you for joining me in my highest bliss. Make it a great day. Because why would you leave it up to anyone else? Happy solstice.